If you have a checking account, it's costing you money. Maybe not upfront in fees, maybe not in a way you can see, but in a way that is going to quietly drain your wealth every single year. And the worst part of all of this, you could be doing everything absolutely right and still losing when it comes to wealth generation. Now, in the next few minutes, I want to show you why banks love parking your money at those financial institutions, the one habit that is going to turn and be the most profitable for them, and how a free account, as it's kind of coined, could actually cost you hundreds or thousands of dollars without a single fee ever being assessed. Most people will never catch this. Now, over the last 20 years, I've worked in banks, I've worked in credit unions, and it's been a life-changing, really eye-opening experience that I want to share with you guys when it comes to financial institutions and exactly how they work when it comes to checking accounts and coined as a free checking account or a fee-free checking account. Regardless of the name, it can cost you a lot of money if you don't understand exactly what's going on. So let's kill the biggest lie first. Checking accounts are not free. They have been coined as free. They're very cleverly disguised when you look at financial institutions because banks, credit unions, they do not charge any upfront fees. Be careful because some of those do have monthly maintenance fees, but it makes you feel really comfortable. But think about it for a minute. If you're putting your money into a financial institution, whether it be a checking or savings that has zero yield, doing nothing, who is going to benefit from that? Let me guess, it's not you. So what is actually happening? When you deposit your money into a financial institution, the bank takes the money, they put that money to work immediately. We are talking loans, credit cards, business banking, mortgages, lines of credit, home equities. There are so many different ways that financial institutions use your money, and they are not earning pennies. They are earning very, very real returns when it comes to your money. So they're paying you zero. They could be seeing 7, 8, 10, 15, possibly even looking at yielding on credit cards, 22, 24, 28% overall. Those are some really big returns. And you're getting what? A 0.00, 0.01, maybe even zero overall, basically nothing in there. So let me simplify for it. You give them money, they multiply the money into earnings and give you crumbles, if not anything. And the gap between that of them paying you nothing, them yielding 26% on the credit card, that's the business. This is why when it comes to financial institutions, not only do they pay a pretty hefty dividend, but they are multi-billion, multi-trillion dollar companies when it comes to financial institution. And if you think that only matters if you have a lot of money, this is exactly why the system works and why the system works best right against you. And let's talk about overdraft fees. Overdraft fees range from 25, 30, 37, maybe even higher. Whatever it is, those add up in the entirety, but that's not real money. Those fees in their entirety are just a bonus when it comes to financial institutions. Now, like I said earlier, I used to work at a traditional bank. I'm not going to name it just for the sake of the video, but when we started looking at fee generation, about 15% of the profits within the financial institution were fees. We're talking monthly fees, maintenance fees, overdraft fees, transfer fees, everything you could imagine, including all the fees that are very absorbent when it comes to business banking, when it comes to investing and the fee generation there. It's kind of crazy because they add up. And really, like I said, that's not real money. These are just fees that they are charging you and I as the average consumer. So the real win for the banks is consistency when it comes to the consumer. People who leave money sitting there, don't optimize money, don't question it, leave it in savings account, earning a 0.5%, a 0.01, maybe even nothing if it's in the checking account, because one overdraft is absolutely nothing. You think of one $30 fee, and again, for me and you, this could have a really big impact. But when you start putting that into millions or tens or even hundreds of millions of people, it's kind of crazy because the business is passive, making billions of dollars a year on the fees that we pay. And of course, making that very juicy percentage on the money that you have in there, earning absolutely nothing. So this is where most people lose and they don't even know it. So let's say, for instance, you're keeping $3,000 in your checking account. That's not really crazy. That's pretty average. That's pretty normal at your 0.01 that they pay, which is basically making zero at that point. Now take that same money, move it into a high yield savings account, and let's just say 4% for a mass sake. You're making $120 a year. Let that sit in for a minute. Think about it. You didn't lose $120. You just never saw it because you had the money sitting in the checking account. And that's the trick. Losses you don't feel and you don't see are very easy to ignore. I see this a lot of times when I have individuals that have large balance in savings accounts, that are earning a zero point 0.5, a 0.05, or like I said, large balances in a checking account that earns zero, that you are getting nothing. So not only are you not charging a fee by parking your money, financial institutions are making money off of the deposits they have. You're not getting anything. You're not getting any kickback. You're not getting any percentage. So you're losing hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in those accounts. Now, this only works because of one single thing: inertia. People don't move their money. They don't rethink the system. They set it, they forget it. When we start looking at traditional banks and financial institutions, they hold about 40% of the deposits for the nation in these really low yield savings accounts that they have across the board. And banks know that. This is why they're not betting against your intelligence. They're betting against your inaction and the ability to park the money there, do absolutely nothing with it. And when you start thinking about $3,000 in a checking account, imagine if it was 30. Imagine if people were sitting in a very, very low 0.01 savings account with $300,000, which again, I've seen a lot of times where they're doing nothing. And of course, for the financial institutions, this is incredibly, incredibly powerful because those financial institutions are again making billions of dollars. So let me ask you something. When is the last time you actually sat down and optimized your banking setup? Exactly. Most people don't even know. A lot of people that I talk to have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. They look at a portfolio, even thinking of retirement portfolios that they might have set up 5, 10, 15, 20, even 30 years ago, never changed the allocations, never looked at their return, never realized if they could make more money for it, or how do you really, kind of deploy your money and utilize it to make more money and bring in more income to kind of supplement what you have. So here's the mindset change, guys. When it comes to financial institutions, your checking account is not your storage account. It is your transactional account. Money should come in, money should come out. It shouldn't be sitting there. It shouldn't be stored. Smart people do not leave money sitting in a checking account. They park it where it earns additional money. A simple system. And again, we talk about systems a lot on this channel. Keep just enough in your checking account. If your monthly liabilities are $2,000, $3,000, that's about the balance you want to be working with. So a deposit comes in, takes it above that amount that kind of is that cushion for the monthly liabilities or the monthly expenses. Move it to a savings account, move it to somewhere, move it to an investment account, move excessive money out of there. Separating the spending and the savings, you have to do this, guys. When you start looking at a checking, that again should be treated as a transactional account and only a transactional account, keeping the funds available in there for about a 30-day expense and make your money work, even if it's very short term. A lot of institutions offer 6-month CDs. A lot of them have 9-month, 12-month CDs, different terms where you could actually start generating a pretty good passive income in there with the money that is just sitting in the savings account. Because of course, the banks don't need to say anything. The banks do not need to trick you in any means. They just need you to stay comfortable and have the money parked like we always have, because of course, the longer the money is sitting there, the more valuable and the more assets they can generate off of the money that is sitting in the financial institution. So then the real question isn't, are banks making money off the checking accounts? They are. We already know they are. The real question comes in, are they going to keep being passive and making money off of you? Or are you going to be intentional to look at your banking relationship and find out what is actually going to be beneficial for you? Because when we start looking at very small changes, they are going to compound much, much faster than you think. Now, of course, guys, if you found any value in this video, definitely subscribe to the channel. We come out with videos Monday through Friday, 5 videos every single week. Like the video so we can get it out to the algorithm and to everybody else. Share it to anyone who needs to know about the financial institutions. And as always, I'll catch you in the next video.